At 71, Harold was the very definition of a peaceful, steady lifestyle. He wasn't one to chase excitement or push boundaries. His life was centered around routines, familiar, comforting, and as far as anyone could see, healthy. He'd wake up early for his morning walks, rain or shine, strolling quietly through the neighborhood with a soft smile and a nod to anyone he passed. In the evenings, he'd return home, prepare a simple dinner, and settle down with a book or a quiet television program. Around 9 p.m., like clockwork, he would make himself a warm cup of herbal tea, dim the lights, and ease into bed. He wasn't on any extreme diet. He didn't smoke. He wasn't known to drink. His neighbors, many of whom were younger and less disciplined in their health routines, often looked to Harold as an example of how to age gracefully. That's why, when word spread that Harold had passed away in his sleep one night, the community was blindsided. There was no known illness, no recent complaints. He hadn't mentioned any pain, discomfort, or unusual symptoms. In fact, just the day before, Harold had greeted his neighbors with his usual gentle smile, carrying a reusable bag of groceries and asking about the local garden club. He seemed perfectly fine, but when he didn't show up for his morning walk the next day, a concerned neighbor checked in, only to discover that Harold had quietly slipped away in the night. His death shook the community not just because it was sudden, but because it didn't make sense. How could someone so seemingly healthy, with such a calm and careful lifestyle, simply not wake up? Of course, without a full medical investigation, no one could say exactly what had happened. It could have been his heart, his lungs, or an undetected neurological issue. But as conversations began to unfold in hushed tones among the neighbors, one question started to surface again and again. Could something about Harold's nighttime habits have contributed to his unexpected passing? It's a question that many older adults and their families should seriously consider. As we get older, the body changes in subtle but significant ways. The systems we once took for granted, our circulatory system, rest hours before sleep, matters more than most people realize. While Harold may have seemed perfectly healthy, it's entirely possible that small, seemingly harmless habits in his evening routine had slowly added up to something more serious. Perhaps it was a poorly ventilated room, an over-the-counter sleep aid he took without realizing the side effects, or a heavy meal eaten too close to bedtime. Maybe he had undiagnosed sleep apnea or another condition that interrupted his breathing during the night. We may never know, but what we can do is learn from this tragedy and take proactive steps to protect our own health. For those over 70, it's more important than ever to pay attention to the details of your evening and nighttime habits. Just as diet and exercise matter during the day, your behavior at night can deeply influence your well-being, and in some cases, your survival. So, if you or someone you love is approaching or already in their 70s, take this as a gentle but urgent reminder. Not all bedtime habits are harmless. In fact, some of the most innocent-looking routines could be quietly working against your health. To help safeguard your sleep and your life, here are 4 bedtime habits you must avoid after the age of 70. These aren't meant to scare you, but to empower you with knowledge that could make a real difference. Your rest is precious, and with the right adjustments, it can also be safe, healing, and life-extending. Eating heavy meals late at night. For many people, especially after retirement, dinner time can slowly start to creep later and later. There's no longer a work schedule dictating meal times, and evenings become a time to unwind. Maybe it's a favorite show on TV or a long phone call with family that delays dinner, leading to a big meal just before heading to bed. In fact, it's not uncommon for older adults to believe that a late meal helps them sleep better or prevents them from waking up hungry during the night. However, what many don't realize is that digestion slows significantly with age, and the body's ability to efficiently process food, especially rich or heavy meals, becomes compromised. A dinner that once sat comfortably in your stomach at 7 p.m. might now linger and cause discomfort hours later if eaten close to bedtime. That's because as we age, the digestive muscles become less efficient, and the production of stomach acid can decrease. While that might sound like a good thing, it often leads to food sitting in the stomach longer, increasing the risk of reflux and indigestion, especially when lying down. Why it's dangerous eating heavy meals too close to bedtime poses multiple hidden dangers, particularly for people over the age of 70.1. Silent acid reflux. One of the most insidious problems that comes from late-night eating is silent acid reflux. Unlike typical heartburn, silent reflux doesn't always come with a burning sensation. Instead, acid can slowly creep up the esophagus during sleep, irritating the throat and potentially entering the airways or lungs. This not only causes damage over time, but may contribute to interrupted breathing or coughing during the night without the person even realizing the cause. Increased risk of heart arrhythmias. Digesting food requires a significant amount of blood flow. When you lie down after a heavy meal, the strain on your digestive system and heart increases. This may cause changes in heart rate, particularly in individuals who already have heart conditions. Some researchers suggest that heavy nighttime meals may raise the risk of nocturnal arrhythmias, irregular heart rhythms that occur while you're sleeping. These arrhythmias can reduce the heart's efficiency and potentially contribute to life-threatening events in vulnerable individuals. Poor sleep quality. Even if the heart remains stable, discomfort from a heavy meal, such as bloating, gas, or indigestion, can significantly disrupt sleep. This poor sleep quality can result in grogginess, mood swings, and impaired memory during the day. Over time, chronic poor sleep is linked to cognitive decline and even increased mortality risk in older adults. Aspiration risk. When acid reflux reaches the upper esophagus, especially while lying down, there's a danger it may enter the lungs, a condition called aspiration. In elderly individuals, this can be especially dangerous, as it increases the risk of aspiration pneumonia, a potentially deadly condition. What to do instead? Luckily, this is one bedtime habit that's fairly easy to change, and the rewards are significant and eat dinner earlier. Aim to eat your last full meal at least 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. This gives your stomach time to begin digesting the food while you're still upright, reducing the chance of reflux and giving your digestive system a head start before you lie down. Choose lighter meals in the evening. If dinner must be eaten closer to bedtime, keep it light. Opt for meals that are easy to digest. Think grilled vegetables, soups, or small portions of lean protein. Avoid fried, spicy, or heavily processed foods at night, as they are more likely to irritate the stomach and cause bloating or indigestion. Select smart snacks if you must snack. If you find yourself hungry before bed, it's okay to have a small healthy snack. Just choose wisely. Bananas are a great option. They're rich in magnesium and potassium, which help relax muscles and promote sleep. A handful of almonds or walnuts can also help, as they contain melatonin and healthy fats. Plain yogurt is another good option. It's gentle on the stomach and contains tryptophan, which may help with sleep. Stay upright after eating. Even a short walk around the house after dinner can aid digestion. Avoid lying down immediately after eating, as this increases the risk of acid reflux. If you must rest, try to sit in a reclining chair that keeps your upper body elevated. In your 70s and beyond, small changes to your routine can have a huge impact on your health and longevity. Being mindful about what and when you eat in the evening can not only help you sleep better, but may protect your heart, brain, and digestive system. Your bedtime habits matter more than ever. And with this one adjustment, avoiding heavy meals late at night, you're already taking a significant step towards safer, more restful nights. Taking certain sleep aids without medical advice. For many people over 70, sleep doesn't come as easily as it once did. You may find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, struggling to fall asleep, or feeling restless as bedtime approaches. It's no wonder that more and more seniors turn to sleep aids whether over-the-counter pills, prescription medications, or herbal supplements, to get a decent night's rest. At first glance, this might seem harmless. After all, these remedies are sold everywhere, and some are marketed as natural or safe. But for older adults, these so-called solutions can come with hidden dangers, some even life-threatening. One wrong pill, one overlooked side effect, and what was meant to bring comfort can quietly put your health at risk. Why it's dangerous? As we age, our bodies change. Our liver and kidneys may not process substances as efficiently, and we often become more sensitive to medications. Even mild sleep aids that seem harmless in younger adults can have exaggerated effects in seniors. Dangerous interactions. Many sleep aids, both pharmaceutical and herbal, can interact negatively with medications commonly prescribed to older adults. For example, melatonin, though natural, can interfere with blood pressure medications, diabetes drugs, or anticoagulants. Valerian root, another herbal supplement, can amplify the sedative effects of other medications and lead to excessive drowsiness or confusion. In Harold's case, neighbors found multiple bottles of nighttime pain relievers in his kitchen, some containing diphenhydramine, a common ingredient in over-the-counter sleep products like Tylenol PM or Benadryl. While these are often labeled as non-habit-forming, they can have a cumulative sedative effect, especially in aging adults. Cognitive and physical side effects. One of the biggest risks of sleep aids in older adults is cognitive impairment. Many of these drugs, especially antihistamines and sedative hypnotics, are known to cause confusion, dizziness, or memory loss. In fact, studies show that regular use of certain sleep medications can increase the risk of developing dementia. But that's not all. These side effects also contribute to falls and accidents, a leading cause of injury and hospitalization in people over 70. One misstep in the middle of the night, perhaps while getting up to use the bathroom, and you could face a broken hip or worse. Respiratory. Suppression and heart strain. Some over-the-counter sleep aids or combination medications, especially those labeled as PM products that include painkillers, can slow down breathing during the night. In people with sleep apnea, asthma, or heart issues, this effect can become dangerous or even fatal. This is particularly alarming when taken without awareness of the risks. In many tragic cases like Harold's, the person appeared healthy, but the slow, compounding effects of unsupervised medication use caught up silently, sometimes fatally. What to do? Instead, rather than reaching for a pill bottle every night, consider safer, long-term solutions for better sleep. Here's what you can do. Talk to your doctor before taking anything, even if it's just a supplement. Always consult with your physician or pharmacist before starting any sleep aid. They can assess possible interactions with your existing medications and help guide you towards safer alternatives. If you're having persistent sleep issues, it may be a symptom of an underlying condition that needs addressing, like thyroid imbalance, chronic pain, depression, or anxiety. Focus. On sleep hygiene, good sleep starts with good habits. Create a sleep-friendly environment. Keep your bedroom dark, cool, and quiet. Go to bed and wake up at the same time each day, even on weekends. Avoid screens, TV, phones, tablets, for at least an hour before bed. The blue light they emit can disrupt melatonin production. Limit caffeine and alcohol in the evening, as they interfere with sleep cycles. Develop a relaxing bedtime routine. Your body and brain need signals to wind down. Try incorporating relaxing activities before bed, like reading a book, listening to calming music, gentle stretching or yoga, taking a warm bath, breathing exercises, or guided meditation. These rituals help shift your body into rest mode naturally, without the risks associated with pills. Consider non-drug therapies. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, is a highly effective drug-free treatment. Many sleep clinics and therapists offer this, and it's especially effective for older adults. It addresses the root causes of insomnia and teaches lasting strategies to improve sleep naturally. ignoring snoring, or irregular breathing. During sleep, snoring is often the subject of lighthearted jokes, especially among older adults. It's seen as harmless, an annoyance at worst, a normal part of aging. But when you're over 70, snoring can be much more than a nuisance. It might be your body's desperate attempt to get enough oxygen during the night, and in some cases it could be a life-threatening warning sign. Let's take a moment to look deeper. Why it's dangerous. Snoring itself isn't always dangerous, but when it's loud, erratic, accompanied by choking, gasping, or long pauses in breathing, it could indicate obstructive sleep apnea, OSA, a serious medical condition where the airway repeatedly becomes blocked during sleep, stopping airflow to the lungs. These breathing interruptions can happen dozens or even hundreds of times each night, each one straining the heart and starving the brain of oxygen. Over time, untreated sleep apnea increases the risk of high blood pressure, atrial fibrillation, heart attacks, strokes, type 2 diabetes, and even sudden death during sleep. The most alarming part? Many older adults don't even know they have. If you sleep alone, you may never realize you're snoring loudly or that your breathing stops for periods during the night. You might simply wake up feeling groggy, with a dry mouth or morning headache, assuming it's just part of getting older. But it's not just aging. It's a medical issue that needs to be addressed. The hidden toll on the body. Sleep apnea doesn't just affect nighttime breathing. It creates a ripple effect across nearly every body system. The heart must work harder, increasing the risk of arrhythmias and congestive heart failure. Brain health suffers, as repeated oxygen deprivation contributes to memory problems and cognitive decline. Metabolism is disrupted, making it harder to control blood sugar and increasing the risk of diabetes. Daytime fatigue raises the risk of falls, accidents, and depression. For someone over 70, already more vulnerable to many of these conditions, sleep apnea can quietly accelerate health decline without any obvious symptoms during the day. What to do instead if you or a loved one suspects loud snoring, gasping, or breathing pauses during sleep? Do not ignore it. These are not just quirks, they are medical red flags. Here are the steps to take. Ask someone to observe you sleep, if possible. If you sleep with a partner or family member, ask them to listen for signs: loud, chronic snoring, choking, or gasping. Sounds, pauses in breathing, restless tossing and turning. Even a brief observation can provide helpful clues. Pay attention to how you feel during the day. Do you wake up feeling unrefreshed despite getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep? Are you sleepy during the day, struggling to focus, or frequently taking naps? These symptoms may point to non-restorative sleep due to breathing disruptions at night. Talk to your doctor. Your primary care provider can help assess your risk and refer you for a sleep study, which is the gold standard for diagnosing sleep apnea. It may involve staying overnight in a clinic, but at-home sleep tests are increasingly common and much more convenient. Sleep studies monitor your breathing patterns, heart rate, oxygen levels, brain activity during different sleep stages. Follow through with treatment if diagnosed with sleep apnea. Don't worry. There are effective treatments that can drastically improve your health and quality of life. CPAP, continuous positive airway pressure, a machine that keeps your airway open by delivering gentle air pressure through a mask while you sleep. Oral appliances, custom-made dental devices that keep your airway open by adjusting your jaw or tongue position. Lifestyle changes, losing weight, avoiding alcohol before bed, and sleeping on your side can also help reduce symptoms. For some, treatment results in better energy, improved memory, fewer headaches, and a dramatic improvement in quality of life. Most importantly, it reduces the risk of heart complications and stroke, two of the biggest killers in older adults. Final thoughts: Harold's death was tragic, and though we may never know every detail of what happened that night, his story serves as a powerful wake-up call. He was 71, seemingly healthy, and lived a quiet, peaceful life. But his passing in his sleep shook everyone who knew him and left behind a crucial lesson. Your bedtime habits matter, especially after 72. Often we think of sleep as just a passive part of life, a time to rest, shut off, and recharge. But in reality, sleep is a deeply active process. While you sleep, your body works tirelessly behind the scenes. Your heart rate slows and your blood pressure drops, giving your cardiovascular system a break. Your brain clears waste products through a process called the glymphatic system, reducing your risk of cognitive decline. Your muscles and tissues repair, your immune system regenerates, and your hormone levels regulate. Emotional and memory-related centers of the brain organize and store experiences from the day. But when sleep is disrupted, or worse, when unhealthy bedtime habits sabotage these restorative processes, your body can't do its job. Night after night, these small disruptions quietly build into bigger problems. Higher blood pressure, increased inflammation, irregular heartbeat, poor memory, a weakened immune system, and sometimes, as in Harold's case, tragic outcomes. The truth is, aging doesn't make you immune to the dangers of poor sleep. It makes you more vulnerable to them. After 70, the systems that used to recover easily in our youth become more sensitive. The margin for error shrinks. Things that once didn't matter, like eating too close to bedtime or brushing off loud snoring, can become serious threats to your health. The silent power of routine. Here's the encouraging part. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle to make a difference. Sometimes it's the quiet, consistent adjustments that matter most. A lighter dinner, choosing your bed over the recliner, avoiding unprescribed sleep aids, getting screened for sleep apnea. These aren't drastic changes, but they're incredibly powerful. In fact, countless studies show that improving sleep quality can add years to your life and dramatically improve the quality of those years. Better sleep boosts mood, strengthens your heart, helps regulate weight and blood sugar, and improves focus and memory. It even reduces your risk of falling, one of the biggest dangers for older adults. The goal isn't just to live longer, it's to sleep safely. Longevity is a gift, but only if you're living well, and that starts with sleeping well. As we age, we must start seeing sleep not as a luxury, but as a vital therapy, something just as important as diet, medication, or exercise. Ask yourself, do I feel rested in the morning? Do I fall asleep in front of the TV or stay up too late scrolling on my phone? Has anyone ever commented on my snoring, gasping, or restless sleep? Am I taking medications or supplements without understanding their nighttime effects? These questions aren't just for curiosity. They're your clues. They help reveal patterns that, if left unchecked, can slowly erode your health. Harold didn't get a second chance, but you do. His story is a quiet reminder not to take sleep for granted, especially as you get older. The brighter tomorrow. Making smarter bedtime choices doesn't just protect your health, it empowers you to live fully. Imagine waking up with more energy, thinking more clearly, enjoying better moods, feeling steady on your feet and confident in your body's rhythm. That's the life that better sleep can help you achieve. So tonight, before you brush it all off as just another evening, remember Harold. Remember what's at stake. And remember this, small habits, consistently practiced, can protect your health in the most powerful ways. You've worked hard to make it to this stage in life. You deserve not only to live longer, but to sleep safely and wake up to a brighter, healthier tomorrow.